Welcome back to Hear Me Out. I'm Dee,
E.
and today's video is about concert season and how it's not really going so well for some people. We're hearing about canceled shows, canceled dates, canceled venues, and just canceled tours in general, like the whole thing. And no, this is not just about J-Lo. There are other artists who are sort of struggling with concert season. So, what does the article say?
And people are just canceling artists overall. But go check out walkout videos. I think we have two of them
Yeah,
of why some people are canceling some celebrities.
yeah.
But this article is from NBC News. The title is Why Some Major Artists Are Suddenly Canceling Shows and in some cases entire tours. Dun dun dun. All right. All right. So, a series of tour cancellations and changes by big name artists has sparked questions about whether the post pandemic live music boom could be cooling as consumer spending fatigue meets elevated ticket prices. On Friday, I know we're a little delayed. So, that was probably June 1st or something like that.
Mhm.
Jennifer Lopez announced that she was canceling her 2024 tour, citing a desire to spend more time with her family. Meanwhile, the Black Keys announced that they were abandoning a stadium tour in favor of a series of shows at smaller venues. Both tours had recently become a subject of social media fodder, namely screenshots showing empty venues at their selected tour dates. NBC News could not directly verify their authenticity. Indeed, some of the evidence of a slowdown is anecdotal. SeatGeek said in an email that the average resale ticket price to attend a summer concert is down to $213 only from $257 around this time last year. The company suggested some of the decline could be attributed to the absence of mega tours on par with Taylor Swift's Eras tour and Beyonce's Renaissance outing last year. For artists whose popularity has crescendoed, there appears to be plenty of demand and high prices. The average resale price for Olivia Rodrigo's Guts tour is $571. Let
Oh,
us know if you're paying that, guys, because
right?
also, like, where do you work? And the next highest is 409 to see Morgan Wallen, according to SeatGeek data reported by Axios. Many of those tours are being sold through Ticketmaster and its parent Live Nation, blase blase. I'm not going to bore you with all the statistics. So, David Clark, editor of Ticket News, which tracks the live entertainment industry, said that the period of explosive live music growth following the pandemic reopenings may, in hindsight, has been seen as an aberration. People were simply more eager and more financially able to go to as many shows as they could after months of being cooped indoors. This year, Clark said a reckoning may be emerging. The days where there was enough demand to sell out arenas at top dollar just isn't there anymore in this kind of economy. Outside of people like Taylor Swift, who can sell whatever they want, whenever they want, he said. At a time when many consumers are struggling to pay for basic necessities, he said, people are seeing some of these prices they're asking for and just saying, hard pass. Another factor may be supply issue. Clark added, too many acts trying to tour at once or too many times. In a pre streaming era, bands would go on tour as a way of marketing an album. These days, he said, it's reverse, since the returns on recorded music have shrunk dramatically. Now they're making records to sell the tour, he said. The paradigm has a lot to do with it. It's just a very overloaded market. Um, and I'm skipping around, guys. So some other people that have, suffered from this, other stars, including Pink and Justin Timberlake, have also recently canceled specific show dates, while the Jonas Brothers recently postponed their upcoming European tour, though none officially cited financial concerns as a reason for doing so. I think with all the competition for fan dollars, it was obviously natural that some artists were going to lose, said Bill World, director of the Syracuse University Bandier Program for Recording and Entertainment Industries. Say that really fast.
Right.
There were still plenty of large scale tours planned for that summer so far, appear to be unaffected by flagging demand. Hootie and the Blowfish have 48 dates booked this year, while Dave Matthews Band is slated to 34. Other top acts hitting the road include Maroon 5, Zach Brown Band, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Kenny Chesney, and Chris Stapleton. But everything else seems kind of boring. But what do we think about, some artists canceling the shows? Should they just be honest at this point? Are they trying to save their egos?
Oh,
What do
yeah,
you
sure. Totally ego. Come on. I think that, like we've been discussing in some of our previous videos, a lot of celebrities lack self awareness and they assume that they have the sort of fan base that Beyonce and Taylor Swift have. You don't. And that's okay. It's not like a knock on you. It is just that you are not at that level. And that is okay. So I think
Yeah.
that because people, celebrities, artists, whatnot, have that lack of self awareness, they're trying to do the most with the least. And it's just not working out.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, inflation is through the roof. People have a hard time being able to afford a lot of necessity things. You have companies now that are trying to do value meals in order to entice customers back because McDonald's doesn't even seem to have a dollar menu anymore. And then what the article maybe touched on, or I don't know if it did or not, there's also not just our ticket prices exuberantly high, but the service fees to buy these tickets are ridiculous. Right
Yeah.
now, the US government is suing Live Nation, I think, to break up with a Ticketmaster or something like that, because they're charging these crazy service fees, which makes it seem as though you're buying an extra concert ticket. Like, it is so large, the amount that you have to pay aside from just the actual ticket itself, that it makes it where people don't want to have to spend that money because it's too much. So there's that, right? And then when you go to the concerts and you're at these venues, the cost of food, the cost of drinks, the cost of merchandise, like everything,
Game.
parking, yes, it's insane. It's all skyrocketing and it hasn't gotten any better. And I understand from a business standpoint, a lot of these places have to make up because of the pandemic. But people are no longer in that little like financial healthy financial bubble right after the pandemic. We're not getting stimmies anymore. So this is more so a reality. We are here now, and I think there is an oversaturation where there's way too many tours going on, but also like the fees. To me, I keep going back to that. The fees are crazy. The cost of these tickets are crazy. People do not have the means by which to afford a lot of these things. And if you do, good for you. There's people that are literally flying to Europe to go to Taylor Swift's Eras tour because it is cheaper to fly out there, buy the ticket than what they would have paid to see her here. That's insane to me.
Yeah.
So,
On Instagram, like there was a mother daughter um, that went to Paris. The
mhm,
ticket was, I don't know, I want to say like 571. I don't know why that's popping in my head.
yeah,
$571. And here in the States, it was costing $5,000. So she was saying it's cheaper to be here, get a whole trip out of it, and it's still cheaper than $5,000.
yeah,
Just flew overseas and had a vacation, made a vacation out of it.
yep. That's insane. But that's
Yeah.
where we are. And that is why things are the way that they are. That is why, despite these artists' ego, they're having to cancel shows. They're having to cancel whole tours. It's not just a J-Lo thing, y'all. It is a little bit broader than that. What do you think?
Well, I am going to bring up J Lo because she's been circulating the
Yeah.
nets lately. For her to say, "Oh, I'm canceling the tour to spend time with my family," ma'am, you have 364 days, actually 365 days to do whatever the heck you want because you have all this money. You can choose the projects that you want to do. You were so excited about your documentary, your 7-part documentary thing, and proving that you and Ben are the greatest love story never told, which shouldn't have been told, by the way.
Yeah.
And then you made a whole album, you funded it, now you're on tour, and then all of a sudden, no, I'm too tired. No, I want to spend time with my family. That I think I find that disrespectful for some fans. I'm not a fan. For y'all's fans, like how is she gonna say that? How about if I was looking forward to it, which I don't understand why someone would. But that
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. So wouldn't it be better? And I've been thinking about it for a couple of days. Wouldn't it be better for her to be honest and say people don't want to come to my concert? But would that also hurt her brand?
Yes.
I've been torn. I'm like, but don't we want honesty from celebrities?
I think we don't know what we want.
I think so too.
Because when we ask for honesty, we get Jada Pinkett Smith and we tell her to stop talking.
I know, but that was too much. Like, why does she have to taint Will like that and their relationship? It was just too much. There
But
was
it
nothing positive that came out of it. Actually, nobody asked Jada to say all that.
listen, Linda,
Okay.
we are literally asking them for honesty, clarity, transparency. And when
Mhm.
they give it to us, we're like, no, thank you. So I think to some degree, yes, be honest with your fans. But at the same time, given that J Lo is a brand and has been for a very long time, doing this cancellation is already bad enough for the brand. Given the
Mhm.
real reason would be catastrophic at this point. And
I-
so essentially, this is a way to save face, right? Because who's going to say like, why are you spending time with your family? I don't care about your family. People are not going to come out like that. Sure, you'll have people that may be random and like think that way, but at the end of the day, it's a safer bet to like put it on that, whether it's true or not. And obviously, you believe it's not true, but like,
it's almost insulting my intelligence. Like, girl, I know you've been flopping. Like, I'd rather hear the truth. But when you point out the Jada Pinkett effect, that girl, stop talking, I know what I want. I want specific things from specific people.
yeah, and and that is something that like just us as spectators, us as fans in general, we have to come
Yeah.
to terms with. We don't know what we want, and that's okay. That is okay. But like with the whole tour situation and everything that's been happening with other artists, I mean, I just think in general that we are we are going to have to really see and evaluate what the future is going to be like with like entertainers, celebs, and all that, because there's been a shift. I think there really has been a shift in the way that celebs are looked at, and I don't know that we have so much of a deification of these celebs anymore. They're not being held on a pedestal anymore, with the exception outliers being Rihanna, Beyonce, and Taylor. Like those are kind of more so like outliers, right? But in general, you don't have a crazy amount of artists that are being clamored to be on tour. I can even say that like it's fatiguing that Drake is on a tour every year. Like why would people want to keep going to the same tour every year? There may be some new songs, I guess, but it's an oversaturation.
I have to agree with you. On this last Drake tour, guys, I'm a Drake fan, hardcore. Not so much these last couple of years, but pretty hardcore. I've been to I don't know how many concerts in the state, out of the state, you name it, I might follow it. But this last tour, he's a solid 37. I'm 25 plus shipping and handling, right?
Uh-huh.
And it was such a grown thing, if that makes any sense, because he was actually talking to the audience for a little bit.
Oh,
And it's like, don't drink and drive. This happened, at XYZ concert of mine, and somebody got hit. It was very like adult. And I was
yeah,
like, which is, I'm glad he said it. But at the same time, it's like, oh, I guess we're really grown and we're really thinking about these things and how things affect us. And he went in on these monologues every now and then, and I was like, man, because like me and Claudia, which is one of our friends, we're like, man, he's really preaching today, and I'm like, I know. So there was a couple of songs from his new album, and of course they always go back to the bangers, the
yeah,
things that stream. So it felt grownish to me, like to see Drake in that, you know, in that fashion. But
yeah,
at the same time, I'm going to see him perform the songs that I love.
yeah.
So it goes back to you saying we're going back to seeing basically the same thing, with the
Hmm.
exception of a couple of new songs.
Right,
So, yeah, I think that Taylor and Beyonce are just the outliers in the music industry.
for
There's
sure.
nobody that's going to be like them. And even Drake, I guess they're in the top of their game. But these other artists, like Justin Timberlake, I don't know that much about Pink, but let's bring back in J-Lo into the conversation. They've made music, then they stop, then they get tired. Let me pick up another project. Then they want to come back to music and expect us fans to be waiting on them to drop. And hey, I want to spend all my disposable income on you now just because you decided to come back. No, you abandoned us and now you need money
Hmm.
and you want my money to go support you when you forgot about me. It doesn't work that way. I think that the pandemic was terrible for a lot of people, myself included. But it was also a great thing because I feel like a lot of people realized what was important
For sure.
in and idolizing all these celebrities is not it. Like
Yeah,
there's way more important things to be worrying about. Now post pandemic, things have changed obviously because of we have inflation, we have tipflation here in America, which I don't know who the hell came up with tips. We're
and
over.
shrinkflation.
There's shrinkflation, which they're increasing the prices of food and giving us smaller quantities of it at the same time. So these companies are trying to fool their consumers. Like we're getting screwed every way possible.
Yeah,
We have bigger things to worry about. If we have disposable income to support somebody, we're going to really think about if we like them. And like you said, there's these fees that almost deterred me from buying these Drake tickets. I'm like, service fee, what are they doing? What are they servicing? Like, I don't even understand. And then the prices for parking was like $60, $70 for like 3 hours. I'm like, okay, well, I guess this is a privilege. This is my disposable income. But there has to come a time where it's like, it makes sense. Like, why am I spending all this money?
right.
It doesn't make sense for us anymore.
It doesn't.
I really gotta like you to spend that kind of money,
Oh, for sure. For sure.
especially with the opportunity cost. If we really want to go into the economics of it, I could be buying something else, or
Hmm.
I could be resting versus going to your concert, getting stuck in traffic, coming home at 2 in the morning. Like there's just so many things.
Yeah, I agree.
This is
That's it.
crazy, guys. I don't know what's gonna happen to J Lo. I think she's done.
She just needs to lay low for like a good year or two and then make a
Okay.
comeback. Make make a comeback in a couple years with a rom-com or something and everybody will welcome her back. But right now it's just not her time.
Especially with being co-host of the Met Gala, and
Yeah.
she had that little clip where somebody asked her, "What are you wearing?" And she was like, "Schiaparelli." And then she kept walking, being an ass.
Yeah.
Girl, oh, and today on social media, I saw her getting out of the car and she was with M,
Yeah.
her daughter. And she was like, "Could you please stop filming me?" I'm like, "Girl, this is what you wanted all your life." Now, I hate it when celebrities are like, "Don't film me anymore. Respect my privacy." When before you were begging paparazzi to follow you, to interview you.
It's too much.
Ma'am, it comes with the territory.
Too much.
Guys, I know we spoke a lot about everything and nothing at the same time. But let us know in the comments, have you been going to concerts? If so, which concerts have you been going to? Are we canceling J-Lo and JT because, everything that they've done, especially J-Lo, since she's been in the headlines so much? What do we think about her at the Met Gala? What's going on with her and Ben? Is it even relevant? What do we think about the documentaries that she's had, her music, her tour? She even had this new movie, Atlas. I hear that was a bust on Netflix.
Yeah.
You watched it.
Yeah. I slept through some of it.
Well, that doesn't help. Did you watch Atlas on Netflix? Let us know in the comments what you think. Do you want us to watch it? I mean, she slept through it, so I hope not. Let
Yeah.
us know. But that concludes today's episode. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also, please share our video. We're trying to grow our community so your friends can be our friends, so we can all be friends. We also have social media, which Steve will tell you about.
We are on TikTok and Instagram at Hear Me Out DNE. So make sure you guys like, follow, share, and comment. You can also listen to the videos in podcast format via Spotify and YouTube Music.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Bye-bye.